Tonight, Bianca Andreescu prepares for the match of a lifetime.
I know the crowd's going to be for her, so I'm going to try to block that out and just focus on myself.
Tomorrow, she'll face one of the greatest of all time, Serena Williams, again, in an historic match for Canadian tennis. Plus,
more than about deep fried chicken, it's about hateful rhetoric.
Chick-fil-A comes to Toronto, but the controversial fast food joint isn't exactly welcomed with open arms. And he's in Toronto, and we've got this view. We'll take you to the sold-out Shawn Mendes concert. Good evening, I'm Mike Wise. It's a night of well-deserved rest for Bianca Andreescu because tomorrow she plays her first ever finals at the U.S. Open. In fact, she's the first Canadian ever to do so. Greg Ross caught up with her in Flushing Meadows to tee up the match.
One day later, and the magnitude of her accomplishments are just starting to sink in. I think I heard you say wow about 500 times yesterday. I mean, has it sunk in yet?
A little bit. It's nice to have that day in between because I can actually go to sleep, actually knowing that I'm in the finals.
Like most 19-year-olds, Andreescu is very active on social media, and the fact that she's now trending has not been lost on her. Did you see the hashtag on some of those social media posts?
She the North?
That's the one. What do you think of it?
So crazy. I mean, I honestly don't know what to say. It's just awesome.
She's even gotten some shout-outs from other prominent athletes like Canadian Steve Nash and tennis legend Billie Jean King.
It's really nice to have all that support because I think it gives me even more motivation to do better.
Andreescu is also inspiring the next generation of young Canadian tennis players.
Everyone's just so excited and we all want Bianca to win.
Melody Collard is in Flushing Meadows, competing for Canada in the U.S. Open Junior Championship.
I went to see her match on center court last day, and it was like really nice. She's doing awesome, and it's really like good for me to see what she's doing on the big court while I'm just like beside trying to do my best in the junior level, and I know that's what I want to do. So yeah, I'm really happy for her, and I hope she wins.
Andreescu's popularity will only grow if she can win tomorrow, but she will have her work cut out for her as she faces 23-time Grand Slam champion Serena Williams in a rematch of last month's Rogers Cup final. How do you do it? How do you stay composed?
Well, I'm just gonna go into it. We'll try my best to go into it like every other match this tournament. I got a sense of how she plays a little bit in Toronto. I mean, it was very short-lived, 4 games, but I know how I'm going to feel before the match and even during.
Tomorrow's final will not only be a physical test for Andreescu, it will also be a mental one. We're expecting a very pro-Serena Williams crowd here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, and as we've seen in the past at the U.S. Open, the fans can be very loud and rowdy. Greg Ross, CBC News, Flushing Meadows, New York.
Protests greeted the opening of a controversial American fast food outlet today. Chick-fil-A is known for its chicken sandwich, but its owners are also known for opposing LGBT rights in the U.S.
It's more than about deep fried chicken, it's about hateful rhetoric. The fact that an organization like this is able to set up shop in Toronto is worrisome.
We should send a statement that a corporation like that should not be incorporating locally in Canada and then possibly use their values and their capital to influence local politics and local organizations, and that will end up harming our community.
My biggest hope from today is that maybe we just inform some people that we're unaware what that $5, $6, $10 that they're doing that they might think not hurt eventually is going to support.
Members of the Cathy family who own Chick-fil-A are known for speaking out against same-sex marriage. They've also donated millions to anti-LGBT groups. But even with the controversy, many came to the chain's first Canadian location near Yonge and Bloor to try their famous chicken, some even camping out overnight.
I do not agree with their ideology and the policy of the owners, but I'm not here to support the policy of the owner. I'm here to have a meal that I really enjoy.
I'm not sure if a corporate entity can have a political view. I know it's the ideology of the owner. Obviously, we don't support that stuff and we don't think it's good, but we're just here for some chicken.
I mean, everybody has, is inclined to feel the way they feel and support what they want to support. I'm just here to try chicken because I've never had chicken before, so yeah.
The chain plans to open 15 locations around the GTA in the coming years. Well, it's been a huge year for Shawn Mendes, topping the charts last week and playing a sold-out homecoming show at the Rogers Centre tonight. You can almost hear the screaming fans from our newsroom.
I wanna follow where she goes. I think about it and she knows it. I wanna let her take control, yeah. 'Cause every time she gets close, yeah.
I hope our Angelina King brought her earplugs with her. She was at the concert. It's just let out now when she joined us now live from the Rogers Centre. Lots of excited, happy fans around there with you, Angelina.
Oh, there is so much excitement here, the energy here. I can't really describe it, but how about I just let you see for yourselves. Hey guys, what did you think of Shawn Mendes tonight? So there you go. The concert ended a little while ago. There's still this much excitement. I have a feeling that there's going to be about 53,000 people who won't be able to speak. They would have lost their voice by tomorrow. Just imagine the Rogers Centre completely filled with people screaming, so excited to just see one person. I actually saw some tears when Shawn Mendes walked on stage, but I'll let some other fans tell you just how much fun they had. And just a heads up, you might have to cover your ears slightly.
Yeah, it was so cool.
And the ending of the concert was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We love Shawn Mendes!
That Shawn Mendes, good job. Thank you for showing that Canada can show talent.
Yeah! As soon as he walked out, cheers!
Yeah, these fans are something else, really incredible. To see so much happiness and pure joy on people's faces today, though. There was such a big buzz leading up to this concert. So it was called the Homecoming. Appropriately named, Shawn Mendes is from Pickering, just outside of Toronto. This was his first big stadium show and the last North American stop on his world tour. Now, other buzz happening. He just recently launched a foundation, and his hit single with his new girlfriend, Camila Cabello, was recently at #1, and there was a few sightings of them around Toronto this week. So you can imagine fans were wondering, was she gonna show up and perform? And just when I didn't think that they could scream any louder, she showed up, and they did, and they put on quite the performance. Now, talking about being busy and quite the week for Shawn Mendes, he just recently launched the Shawn Mendes Foundation. So that gives back to charities that his fans really care about, things like mental health and anti-bullying. One of his first campaigns is with sick kids here in Toronto. People are really excited, as you can see. And talking about really being true to his Canadian roots, he teamed up with Tim Hortons as well. You might have seen his face on some of your coffee cups and launched this commercial. Now, this truly was a GTA affair. Mendes being from Pickering, and his opener, Alessia Cara from Brampton, she took to the stage before and said she was just so excited to be performing here in Toronto alongside Mendes. She seemed just as excited as the 53,000 screaming fans that we heard from tonight. I'll send it back to you.
Thanks a lot. A lot of excitement there. Mendes is everywhere. Every coffee I have, I see him on my coffee cup. Okay, thanks a lot. Well, the stars are certainly out tonight for the second night of TIFF. Just Mercy, bringing huge stars like Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and Brie Larson to the city. Now, the movie tells the story of a Harvard-educated lawyer who goes to Alabama to defend a man wrongly convicted. It's just one of many highly anticipated movies premiering tonight. Our Talia Ricci was at another.
I'm on the red carpet for the world premiere of Sound of Metal. It's about a heavy metal drummer who is so intensely dedicated to his music, he ends up losing his hearing. Now, through this, he goes on a journey where he learns new perspectives and also meets many people in the deaf community who have a profound impact on him. The lead character, Ruben, is played by Riz Ahmed, who's also a musician outside of this role. But while he has the connection to music, he found himself immersed in cultures and subcultures that were brand new to him.
It was very intensive, you know. I didn't know how to play the drums, I didn't know sign language, I knew very little about the deaf community. And the process of preparing for this role was very intensive, but it was also really eye-opening.
What are some of the conversations that you hope people are having when they leave this film?
You know, it's interesting. You would think on paper that the conversations you might have after this film are about the music scene or about, you know, life as a deaf person, or about addiction, or about codependent relationships. And those are all themes in the film. But actually, I think the big questions that are asked of an audience are the really profoundly personal ones, which are really, who are you? Just to explain, you know, my character defines himself through his music, through his relationship, through his self-discipline, and he loses all those things in one moment. And so the film asks the questions, when you lose all the things that you think define you, who are you?
Olivia Cook plays the role of Lou, Ruben's girlfriend and bandmate.
I hope that people come away feeling just inspired, I think, and have a new perspective.
Now, something else to note about this film is that all screenings of Sound of Metal at TIFF will be closed captioned for the hearing impaired. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
Nick Cernkovich joins us now with his first look at the weekend forecast. I hope we're done with most of the rain.
Yeah, we are done with the rain, Mike, or for the most part anyway. It's the cooler weather that's going to be the story coming up over the weekend. Pretty nice weekend overall, but we've got cooler nights in store. In fact, we're almost going to touch the single digits, at least in some places we will. There's slight chance of a few showers over the weekend, but generally speaking, it's going to be pretty fair. Here's what we're looking at in the forecast. Overnight tonight, just partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, some good sunshine, but as we move through the afternoon, there is the chance we're going to see a few spotty showers popping up, but at most 30% chance of seeing it. So not a washout, just maybe a brief shower here and there across the GTA, and then things pretty much clear out for the next few days. Forecast tonight down to 14 degrees, although this is getting cooler as we move through the next few. 22 degrees tomorrow, and again, the chance of a few spotty showers. We'll talk about that cool down, though, coming up in just a bit. Mike.
Okay, thanks, Nick.
You bet.
Well, if the buzz and excitement and the caliber of talent at TIFF right now is any indication, we're in a film boom. The number of productions that have made the move to Hollywood North grows year over year. And as Ali Chasson explains, it is moving the needle on our local economy.
If you look 10 years ago, we were at about $600 million, a little bit more than $600 million a year in production volume. 5 years ago, we were at about $1.5 billion, and now we're at $2 billion.
That's what you call a boom.
You stole my line.
As the city's film commissioner, it's Marguerite Pigot's job to sell Toronto to Hollywood producers. And TIFF isn't just a party to celebrate a job well done. The city gets down to business.
It's a way to really accelerate our business case and accelerate production in Toronto for us.
We're in the cafe at Pinewood Studios, and out of this cafe we feed the production staff for all the movies who are shooting here, costume department, accounting, etc.
David Mintz feeds 800 to 1,400 people a day. He's an example of the many businesses benefiting from the film boom.
We're also spending money on produce and meat and seafood and paper goods, and we're renting more vans and we're building more vehicles, and all of this stuff is done locally, so the trickle down is phenomenal.
Let's break it down using the example of one blockbuster that's in theaters now, It Chapter 2. It may be set in spooky small-town Maine, but it was shot in Port Hope, Elora, Hamilton, Ajax, Toronto, and Mississauga. Over $56 million was spent on production, $25.9 million was spent at local businesses during production, and it created 1,800 jobs for local cast and crew.
Handmaid's Tale was shooting in a given neighborhood over a period of time, and the neighborhood was really welcoming and really cooperative. And so Handmaid's Tale got in touch with the local councillor to find out, like, what does the neighborhood need? And they ended up refurbishing the gym at the school.
We've been so fortunate. We've catered 3 Oscar-winning shows, and the last one was Shape of Water. We're a very, very small part of it, but just to be part of it, it feels really, really good.
By welcoming the creative community here, and by nourishing it here, we're all part of it.
Ali Chasson, CBC News, Toronto.
This is No Bike Shop. This is where Toronto police store recovered stolen bikes. I'm Talia Ricci, and coming up, after another video of a brazen daylight bike theft went viral, Toronto police give us some tips on how to avoid having your bike end up here.
When we find these bikes, oftentimes we can't find the owner.
A big disruption for thousands of commuters this morning after the southbound lanes of Highway 410 were shut for several hours while police looked into a man's death. Ontario's Special Investigations Unit says police got a call early this morning about a man acting strangely at the overpass of Derry Road in the 410. Investigators say when officers showed up and got out of their cars, the man somehow fell onto the highway below, hitting a passing van, then later caught fire. The driver was not injured. Well, it took seconds for a man to steal a bicycle on a busy downtown street recently. We know about it because the whole thing was caught on camera by a passing taxi driver who wanted to see the guy arrested. Ms. Talia Ricci tells us that video is sparking a lot of talk on social media about bike theft and how to keep yourself from becoming a victim.
Sparks flying, sun shining, people walking. None of that mattered to this bold bike thief who got away with Ben James's bicycle.
I thought it was pretty safe being here in the financial district, and I was really blown away that someone would have the balls, if you will, to come down and steal it.
It's been viewed thousands of times on social media.
Everyone's had that bike stolen or something stolen from them, and to actually see how it happens and how it goes down, and in a spot like this, I think everyone can, just kind of relates to it.
And I was in my window roll down half through.
The video was shot through the window of Mo Khan's cab.
It's so fascinating that he took total 20 seconds to done this job.
Khan admits he was a little shaken when the man started yelling at him, but he once had his bike stolen too and hoped the evidence would result in justice.
I never thought actually in that level that somebody will have a portable grinder to cut a lock without any fear of broad daylight.
This is where many recovered stolen bikes are stored. They're kept here for 37 days and then they end up at police auctions. Police say that registering your bike on their website and keeping record of its serial number does help them in the process of returning stolen bikes to their owners.
My initial thoughts were, here we go again, and so what my job is to get that video, try and get it to an investigator and marry it up with a report.
According to Toronto police data, from 2014 to 2018, there have been close to 18,000 reports of bike theft, with numbers rising each year. Very few are recovered, but Mills insists that a lot of time and resources are dedicated to getting stolen bikes back.
If you see somebody stealing a bike like that, it's great to have a video, don't get me wrong, but call 911 before you start taking a video. And if you are going to take a video, do it safely. We do care, we do take it seriously.
As for James, he's filed a police report and will now be relying on TTC to get to work. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
I don't want you to tell me it's time to come home.
So what is a cutout of Tom Hanks doing on the subway? Well, you'll have to stick around to find out.
The next station is Castle Frank Station.
The weather update is brought to you by Train Extreme Conditions Testing. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. Train, the most reliable heating and cooling brand.
The Blue Jays trying to play late season spoiler tonight as the Tampa Bay Rays go after a wild card spot. The Rays strike early. Austin Meadows tries to score from first and easily beats the throw to the plate. It'd make it 3-0 when Mike Zunino sends the ball to the stands in left. Now, there was some questionable umpiring in this game and an inconsistent strike zone. That actually led to Charlie Montoya getting ejected from the game. But the Jays only managed a pair of hits as they went on to lose this one 5-0. Meteorologist Nick Cernkovich is here with his extended forecast. I have a feeling, Nick, that had you come up with these numbers back in April, we think we'd be dealing with a heat wave or something. But coming in September, I don't know about this.
I know. We're not ready to be done with summer, but it almost kind of feels like that. Temperatures are starting to drop a little bit. Now, listen, they are below seasonal, but I mean, we're not talking about cold weather. It is just a little bit cooler coming up over the next couple of days. Here's a look at the average temperatures. So about 23 degrees as a high, and about 11.5 degrees as an overnight low. Those are the averages for this time of year. Keep that in mind as we get to the forecast. Today, we hit 21 degrees in the GTA. It didn't last long, though, as the rain showers moved in. Temperatures started to fall. Those rain showers, though, clearing out. Tomorrow, the chance of a few light spotty showers, but they'll be pretty isolated in nature. By the time we hit the evening, things start to clear out again. And then by Sunday, just a little bit of cloud cover, but for the most part, we've got mainly sunny skies in store through Sunday as well. And in fact, that takes us right into next week. It's not until about Tuesday night where we see the next round of rainfall for the GTA. GTA. So let's talk about the forecast then. Remember those temperatures? Southwestern Ontario, about seasonal for tonight, 12, 13 degrees. Tomorrow, again, about seasonal, 22 to 24 degrees. And we're looking at about a 30% chance again of seeing a few spotty showers. Same story. This is just some residual stuff. If we see it, it's going to be brief, and it's really not going to be any kind of a washout for tomorrow. If you're heading out to the cottage, for example, don't worry about it. For the GTA tonight, right about seasonal, 12, 13 degrees around the Golden Horseshoe for tonight. Tomorrow, again, around 22, 23 degrees across the region. We've got a little bit of cloud cover that's going to roll through, though, and that could kind of keep temperatures down a bit. But otherwise, right about seasonal. Now we get into the 5-day forecast, and here's how it breaks down. By Sunday, temperatures drop 18 degrees, overnight lows of 10. Some areas in the GTA are probably going to see temperatures around 8 and 9 degrees, though, through the overnight low. Same story on Monday, 19 degrees. Same story on Tuesday as well. Tuesday, though, new weather pattern moves in. Tuesday night, we've got rain in the forecast, and Wednesday, a high of 24 degrees. And I think by Wednesday, we'll actually be talking a little bit about a humidex. Mike.
Looking forward to something. Okay, thanks a lot, Nick.
You bet.
A Toronto coffee shop is at it again, trying to use TIFF to generate some buzz this year, trying to appeal to Tom Hanks. The owner has been posing with a cutout of the actor, even recreating famous scenes from movies like Big, and taking the cutout for a spin on the TTC. This is all in hopes of luring him to her Gerrard Street store while he's in town for the film festival. Now, the coffee shop has tried this sort of campaign before. Last year's social media target was Ryan Gosling, who actually did stop by for a coffee. Grinder Coffee is offering Hanks a free cup if he shows up, plus 15% off for his entourage. If he is going to show up tomorrow, would probably be a good day. Hanks will be walking the red carpet for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, his Fred Rogers biopic. Now, we'll check in with Grinder Coffee tomorrow to see if he grabs a cup in between his press junkets. We'll have more TIFF highlights for you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Have a great weekend. Good night.